A very good evening, everyone. So we are back again with our weekly Friday session. And our today's topic is defining a permission role to the respective users. So to begin with, we share the screen. So this is I have already logged in the admin user of Realbooks. And now what I'm supposed to do is, for example, now as a management, I want a set of people to work only on the compliance related reports, and I do not want to show the other respective reports to them. So I don't want to give them the permission of the ledger report, trial balance management report, or whatsoever. I just want to give them the permission of compliance. Similarly, the compliance part, if I want few of them not to have the access for the masters, because there should be a set of users who should be liable to create, edit the masters, which is already created in the financial module. And for the data entry people, I don't want to give them the view access or the master access, because it's irrespective of the usage of the data entry operator. So in those cases, we can, here in Realbooks, we can define the different masters for different permission masters for different users. So how shall we do that? So for example, if I'll take one, we'll have to first go to masters, accounts, then comes the permission, then we'll just create a permission. Okay, so before starting with the creation of permission, as you can see, there is an option of addition. So there are four types of options of addition, which is professional, business, enterprise, and view user. So how are these different in each other? As you already know that there are certain features which are available in the enterprise and not in professional, and the same goes for the other addition types as well. So when we select the professional user, there are certain masters which will not be available in the view user or vice versa. And the same goes for the business and enterprises. So why this is so important? This is important because if we go to masters, accounts, user, and if I in case edit one of the user, say the username as Varsha Y. Now here this particular user is holding a type of addition which is enterprise. So now we'll have to make sure that for whichever user we are trying to creating the permission, the addition should match. The user master addition and my permission master addition should match. Otherwise, I won't be able to select those kind of permissions in other roles. So to begin with, we'll again come back over here. So right now we'll be creating one permission master. Since my user and the user I want to assign Varsha by user, which is holding the addition of enterprise, I will give the permission of only compliance report. So over here, I'll just remove all the options from the masters. Since I have disabled all the names part, so automatically create view edit gets null and void. Coming up to the transactions part, let's deselect all these. And for example, if I want to give only the GSTR 1, 2A, 2, and probably 2A, 2B, or 3, and the GST invoice. Now I don't want to give any other permission to this particular user. So I'm just having the selective data over here, and in my reports part, I will deselect all of them. And coming up to the miscellaneous part, I'll just assign the change password part, and that's all. Now I'll click on save. So I've already created the permission, but now I need to assign this particular permission to the user, which is already created in the financial model. So I'll go to masters, accounts, user, edit. So I'll select the username as Varsha Y. And then I'll click on edit. Now I'll go to permissions. Now this is the company I want to assign this particular user. So I'll click on edit over here. And this is the permission role. So currently the permission role which this user is holding is all access enterprise. Now over here, I'm getting a drop down of compliance report. So I'll click over here and click on save. The data got saved successfully. And there we go. So I'll now keep into the other browser, and now I'll log in with the user of Varsha Y. So this is the company for which we assign the permission. So this is the user over here. Let's check if I can make any changes for the master. So now this becomes unclickable. Although the menu is highlighted, but no options is reflecting for this particular user, because only and only compliance is the only reports which this user can access. So now if I click on transactions, it will automatically show me the only menu which is assigned to this particular user. So transactions, compliance, and these are the reports access which I provided this particular user. So if I click on GSTR1, the report will get reloaded the way I want it. So the purpose over here is this particular user can access only the reports those I want this user to access. No other reports will be available over here. So now even if I click on the report section or the master sections, again, this user is not allowed to make any kind of transactions in the reports. So this particular user can access only and only compliance reports, and no other reports is allowed. So in case of in my settings page, is this user allowed to make the changes in the configuration part? No, because I revoke that access from this particular user. So the change password option is the only option from the settings page, which is a major one which this user can access, and none other, and the reports can be accessed. So coming back to the other browser where the admin, I have logged in from the admin user. Now over here, since I created the permission role of enterprise, so this user named as Devanshi, which is holding the edition name as business. So what if I will try to assign the compliance report the same, I mean, this particular user having the business edition, am I allowed to save the permission type over here or not? So let's check that. So where this is the permission role in my user master. Now I'm not getting the drop down to select. So this is because the user permission master which I created was created for the addition of enterprise. So other than enterprise users, I cannot use that permission master in my user master for assigning the same. So this was the role of addition. So it matters a lot when you're creating the permission master. So you need to make sure about this. This was first. Now, for example, if I'll come back to my use permission part, permission, and now I'll just edit the page. What if I don't want the compliance report to get edited over here? I want permission role like, for example, I'll create one rather. So this would be like data entry. So this is, I'm creating the masters for data entry, which would be holding the addition of enterprise. And now I don't want to give any create options for the masters, but the user can always have the view access for the masters. And I don't want to give him the edit option or the delete option, and probably not even the print option. I mean, he or she can only view the masters and no other action can be taken by that particular user. So coming to the transactions part, I want this particular user to only and only access the accounts voucher. Accounting transaction entries can only be processed by that particular user, and no other type of transactions can be done by the data entry guy over here. But again, over here, the create view, and I have disabled the option of delete, or probably I can disable the option of edit as well. Only creation is allowed. That person is not allowed to neither edit or delete. So over here, I'll click it and I will remove the access of delete and edit as well. So this was the print. Okay, let's click on over here, and for the reports, I'll just revoke all the reports access. Only the ledger report can be viewed. And I'm enabling the print part as well. For the miscellaneous, again, I'm revoking all the access other than the change password access. Now, if I click on save, so the permission master is created. Now I'll come back to user master. And I will be using the name as Varshavai. Assign the user permission over here. Like now, instead of compliance report, I will be taking the option of data entry. and I'll click on save. So once the data is saved, now in this particular role, the user named as Varsha, I won't be able to make any masters because the master entries have been revoked. As well as this particular user can only and only make the transaction entries, the accounting transaction entries, and at the same time, the user is not allowed to delete the transaction or edit the transaction. So now let's hit on the masters. Okay, now I can see the accounts and the inventory options as well. But am I able to create it? Do I have the option? No, I don't have the option. So I can only view the masters and I cannot create it, delete it, or edit it. So let's go for this view part. Now over here, even if I click on enter, or I can just view the entire ledger. I cannot make any changes. So this is just for the reference purpose, just to understand, okay, the masters is created and accordingly the transaction needs to be done. So for that purpose, the master access is given. Now, if I click on the transactions part, only and only accounting transaction part was allowed for this particular user. So now let's click on vouchers and just quickly create one entry. Like, for example, I'll go as test 01 and I'll click on save and what we will address cash. Text permission. Now hit on save. Okay, so this was all about the transaction. The user was allowed to make the transaction. Now let's go to the reports part. Reports, accounts, and daily reports, and click on ledger part. Now, if I click on Zomato and hit search, so I'm finding this particular entry. Now, let's click on enter. It says the permission needed. We are really sorry. Please ask the administrator for the permission. That means this particular user is not at all allowed to edit the transaction. Let's see if the user can view the voucher or not. So for viewing the voucher, either you can click on V or you can click on the shortcut of voucher. So over here, the option will be enabled in the view structure. So you cannot make any changes. You can just view the entry and that's all. So this way we can control each and every user for having the access of either master, edit, create, delete, view, the reporting purpose, which user is not allowed to what. So all those kind of restrictions and the permission role can be assigned from the admin so that there is no any discrepancy or no chances of making any mistakes, because if you want one guy to make only the receipt accounting entry, so you can make those masters accounting permission over there and so on. So this way the permission role will always and always help you to make a proper decision of assigning which role to which particular user in the Realbooks. So if there is any query, please come up with your query. So this was all about the permission role, which is available in our financial model. So I'll be happy to answer all query in case you guys have the queries. So thank you so much.